Alright, so I decided that I felt like going on a hike today, but damn, it's hot as fuck outside. So I decided I'm gonna stay my ass inside and do it virtually instead. Now Peak is a great game to do that if you don't feel like getting blasted by the summer sun. And since I'm broke as fuck, I decided I'm gonna do it in Unreal Engine. So without further ado, let's go. So first off, when the player walks into the wall, nothing happens. Just like when I be texting my crush. And she be leaving me on red. Nah, but let me log back in real quick. Let me log back in. I made a bool to check to see if we're still climbing, so that way later on we could use it for other purposes as well. If we are, then we call this little function that we make that line traces for us. And the reason I made it into a function is so that way I don't have to go looking for it every time I want to make a change. Like I wanted to make tweaks to it, but I think I'd have a better chance of finding this bitch Luigi. Like I hate this dork. Like why are you so hard to find? So yeah, that's why I decided to store this in a function so that way if we want to make tweaks to it, it's easier to find. So we set up a branch and check to see if we hit anything at all. We want to channel our inner adapt, and it's either we hit the wall or we hit our girl. And yes, I said we. Next we break the hit result, and the only thing we're looking for is the normal. Just give me a sec, I'll show you why. So if we hit something, we want to set climbing to true and set our movement mode to fine. The reason we do this is so that way your girl's gravitational pull doesn't affect us while we're trying to climb. We set this node to false so that way our character doesn't rotate whenever we're moving around, like how it moves around right here. We then set the rotation of the normal so that our character will always look towards the object that we hit and doesn't look like a motherfucking Beyblade. Those shits were elite though, I ain't gonna lie, but we don't need it in this case. And see, this is why I leave myself notes like this. Because real quick, if you want to make it so that our player doesn't slowly float down every time we're trying to stop, we set this braking deceleration right here to a higher number. I set mine to 600 because you'll see in a bit. And the max fly speed is what will be our climbing speed, which I set it to 100 because that's just how I figured how fast it was inside of Peak. Next for the event tick. Now this shit is but stay with me. Once again, we check if we're climbing. And real quick for the stamina regen, all we do is check to see if we have less stamina than our max. Then just do this little math here.
Yeah. It says 3417.
So that it regens every value per second. So like I set mine to be 10 per second, so that's what our regen is. And we clamp this so that way we don't get anything more or anything less than the values we want. But as for the rest of it, we line trace again. If we hit something, we make sure to set our rotation again. Then we drain our stamina. And if we're clicking in and our stamina is below 0, then we wall slide. No need to be scared, I'll show you what it does in a bit. But real quick, for the falls back here, we just set to stop climbing. Because sometimes it's okay to just let go. Now in IA move, which by the way, this code down here is default in Unreal Engine's code when you start at the blueprint, so you don't need to worry about that. However, this up here is what we set for the climbing movement, which we check to see if we're climbing, then setting the movement to only go left, right, and up, down. For stop climbing, all we're doing is setting climbing to false, movement mode to falling, setting this back to true, and the gravity scale to 1, which is the normal scale. Now the reason we set this back to 1 is because for the wall slide function, we set the movement to falling as well, but gravity scale to 0.2, which you can set your own number, but that's just what I went with. Now to show the lunging, which if you don't know what that is, it's when you big bags jump towards the food that be sitting on the table for days. So all we gotta do is check if we have enough stamina, subtract the amount we want to get rid of, and then what this does is this branch up here checks to see if we're moving right. This one down here checks to see if we're moving left. And this one here checks to see if we're moving up. If we're moving right, then we use this launch character node, so that way our player makes it jump towards the right. Same for down here, but left. We multiply this by -1 so we flip the direction. And then down here, we use the same nodes that we used for the movement to be able to jump upwards. And then after that, we set climbing to false. As for the ledge grabbing, all I did was set up a simple box collision that we could put on top of every cliff and set the player's location to the top of it. Now I know this isn't the best way to do it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Now realistically, if you're making your game about climbing only, like how Peak is, then don't use this, it'll be way too much work. But if you're not, then you're all good. And now to show y'all how it works. So yeah, that's how I made Peak's climbing system. I don't know, I think it came out pretty good. Even though it's not perfect, at the end of the day, I'm just here to give you the skeleton. You add the meat. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, leave a like and subscribe. If you got any game mechanics that you want to see, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.